Chat, here we go. We continue the madness with the west side of the bracket. It's a semifinal between Diaz and swiftt. And if this is your first time tuning in, you might need a little explanation on why you see 20 minutes there on the scoreboard. We are playing a 20-minute best of one as Diaz looks to score first. And in this best of one, both players will be able to call a timeout after any goal replay if they want. They both get one timeout. Otherwise, they have to grind through the extremely lengthy game with no breaks. The only exception to a potential break is if one player gets up 15 goals, then we'll end it there. We will end it there. We've seen a lot of comebacks. We've seen comebacks all the way up to around 10 or so goals. But nobody has come from the absolute edge of a mercy rule and still made it back, as we'll end the submissions on the prediction. Everyone heavily in favor of Diaz. I think he comes in as the favorite against almost everybody in this tournament. You guys seeded him number one. We did allow chat to seed the tournament for us. And so far, they've been right about their couple top seeds, but I don't think their 3 and 4 seeds made it through. I want to say Cosmic may have been the 3 seed. He got upset by Frosty. And was the 4 seed Zapatos? The 4 seed might have been Zapatos. So actually a couple top seeds were the ones to go down early. But the Brazilians come out on the top. The top 4 of the madness bracket are these two you see right here, Diaz and swiftt, joined by Wavy and Frosty, which will be coming up after this one. swiftt is a 1v1er that has been playing for a while in Brazil. This is the first time these guys get to play, you know, on South American ping. And Diaz actually has such great US East ping. He actually has worse South American ping, which I guess makes sense. But as I was saying, swiftt been in the 1v1 scene for a while, but actually has gotten into some work in the RLCS as well. Both these guys have. As now Diaz is going to try and slam this into the ceiling as a way to get over the top of swiftt. See swiftt playing with Ninjas in Pajamas. Diaz playing with the other 1v1er in this tournament from Brazil, Wisty, and his RLCS team as he gets a low 50 and musts it in for a 4-3 lead. Yeah, 7 goals in a minute 20 is certainly quite a bit. But usually things will slow down at somewhere in the midfield. Or sorry, not in the midfield, but you know, the middle of the game. As it's hard to stay locked in for the full duration. Has KV1 played any recently? I haven't seen KV1 playing much 1v1 recently. He is still playing in the RLCS. As swiftt conserving his boost on the double dash out to challenge. Diaz protected the ball so well on this dribble. He pops it up and gets one reset into a nice carry, and the whole time putting himself between the ball and where swiftt would have to go to get to it. No other streamers today. Yeah, today everything will be here on this channel, and we'll have the help back on Thursday when we start in the East. We have a ton of rounds to start. Diaz going to escape out of his own half. We saw Diaz in the first couple rounds of this tournament seem to be very confident. Now, in his first round, he had full control over the match, credit to him. But he played against Fast in the round before this one, and Fast put up a great fight. It wasn't until the final couple minutes that Diaz all of a sudden decided he was comfortable and stopped taking every available opportunity. Now, he hasn't treated swiftt that way. swiftt on the air dribble reset, low 50. Great shot. I think it was swiftt and Diaz who both called timeouts super late in their rounds. I know it was another Brazilian. I think it was swiftt against, was it Fearless? I'm not sure who swiftt played against, but I do know that he got somebody to forfeit by calling a timeout in the final couple seconds, and that player didn't want to wait it out. Diaz did that to Fast, but he did so with 2 goals and about 10 seconds on the clock, which is enough time for Fast to come back. So he stuck it out and actually got the first of 2 goals. Almost brought it back. Diaz, kickoff goal. This is a super high-scoring game so far. We are on track for a record-setting amount of goals. Wait, is there a timeout? Yes, there is a timeout. After any goal replay, these guys can use a timeout. And you might be thinking, oh, 9-4. What a huge scoreline for a 1v1. But actually, we're only halfway through a regular game. So this game was on track for a nice 18-8 scoreline. That's without any extra time. And there's going to be a lot of extra time. Diaz dunking past Swift into the corner. Wanted to get the angle. Couldn't find it. Swift had recovered in an attempt to make that save. And if he did. Now Swift. Nice air dribble. Look at this shot from Swift. Swift has had a couple Mechie shots now. As he takes this one off the side wall. Flip to get it all started and a reset on the goal line. Side flip keeps the ball top shelf. And starts to whittle away at the lead. Diaz ending his dribble early as he sees Swift on the back wall. Pulling off of this 50, backflipping instead of hitting it into him to keep the ball out in the box where he can play with it. Which is actually an insane read. Now a perfect reset. I mean, Diaz, he does this so comfortably. I mean, it reminds me of the guys like Daniel and a few others who almost just seem to live and breathe the reset. I mean, it doesn't take any effort to get it. You grab it for free, and then you still have full control over the dribble to put it wherever you want. It's such a great advantage to have, and very few are able to do it so seamlessly. Diaz is definitely one of them, as he now booms the ball out of his back corner. Swift waiting on the back line, has the save. Now goal line 50. Can he get out around it for a shot before the recovery? He wants to fake Diaz. Diaz doesn't fall for it. Low 50, though. Might make the backflip possible for a shot. Diaz gets the save. And now he's going to be countering through the air. His favorite place to be. Swift got boost at the midfield. Diaz, the flick. Should not only get saved, but will be a very strong counter most likely. Swift didn't get the strongest first touch. He got a reset and is able to use that to try and win out on a 50. It's been a back and forth battle through the air right now. Diaz, another wave dash catch. This time Swift makes the adjustment. We saw earlier him getting scored on by going high off the side wall, allowing a gap in between himself and the ground. This time he covers that gap, but Diaz is relentless. He turns right back at midfield and gets another air dribble reset to extend it to 6. Dyblock 13, thank you for the brand new Prime. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Diaz off the side wall has the reset, gets a second one. Can he get the dunk? No. And there wasn't a lot of net to score on there either, because he was trying to slot it just inside the post where Swift was defending. Swift did not need to push it to the back wall, but there was a good chance would have helped it with the save if he needed to. It is 11-6. We have not finished the first game. You know, we're 5 seconds away from the regular Rocket League 1v1 game ending, which would end right now at 11-6. Still a very high-scoring first 5 minutes. And we're definitely in for a record-setting game if it were to keep up for the rest of this. Dunked by Swift, who fakes the turn in field. Diaz, on very little boost, decides to back off. Swift just put the shot directly at him, and I wasn't really watching his perspective. It'd be interesting to see why he felt like that was the best option on a defender with very little boost. If you could get a bounce dribble going, something to go high, it's going to be really tough for a low boost defender to deal with. Swift trying to just pop it over the top of Diaz. He'll be able to get the boost steal, but is going to have to relinquish possession as Diaz resets on the left wall. Diaz cannot prepare for the challenge early enough, so Swift's early challenge from the ceiling will earn himself a possession. Big challenge from Diaz. Looked like he got Swift to start moving, and he pre-flipped underneath the ball in order to pop it high. Can he beat Diaz when Diaz is pinned back. We've seen him here on his back wall, basically, always able to escape. And another early challenge Diaz saw coming, leaned back into the reset, used that reset for a dash, and now he's going to do a little bit of time wasting. And this is kind of what we saw from him in his previous rounds in this 20-minute format. Not forcing it when he has an opportunity, resetting to his back wall, taking his sweet time, and playing the long time clock management instead of just trying to go gung-ho. swiftt able to get back and make this save, playing on 0 boost now, as Diaz wanted a tight angle double. Didn't find it, but still maintains possession. And will play a bounce off the ceiling. Did he get the resets? Didn't use it if he did. swiftt able to get his own back corner boost, which means he survived. So the game has slowed down. I think, didn't it finish 11-6 in the first 5 minutes? And now we played a couple more minutes without a single goal, which does seem to happen here in the middle of these long battles. But swiftt will be the one to come out on top. Diaz looked like he was trying to go for a double maybe off the side wall, and when he didn't connect with it, couldn't get back around involved in the play. Diaz, a little camera check to see if he's being forced up, which he was. swiftt was sticking around. Oh, swiftt not able to grab that back corner boost. You could see he tried to dodge the demo and air roll so that his front flip would clip the top of the hitbox for the boost, but did not work out that way. Is it possible to track the longest time without a goal in this tournament? Probably not. I'm assuming you could figure it all out if you had the replays. But we have not been keeping track of it before. What was it? There was some other stat that I was wanting to potentially keep track of. I think I just wanted to see the game scoreline progression, you know, as like a chart, to see when the big comebacks happen between certain matches. swiftt able to sneak in a 10th goal. Talking about comebacks, swiftt could be making one right now, as he has been down about 4 or 5 goals for a while. Able to get a couple straight, and now he's going to flip past this one, allow Diaz a freebie. Has to limit those opportunities. It was 11-6 at one point. So before that goal, it was a 4-1 run for swiftt. Now a booming kickoff attempt. Diaz able to pinch it off the crossbar and away. Now out of the corner. Strong second touch after the setup on the side wall, recognizing that swiftt was too deep in the corner. Started this possession from directly under him. Hear that back corner boost, which means he's not going to be able to get all the way to net in time. Delayed kickoff from swiftt. So he tries to get a little cheeky here. And an own goal. It's going to have orange trail as he sends this in. Diaz dodging the demo as swiftt looked to bump him there. He was trying to set something up, but he actually just got swiftt to own goal. I don't even think he touched it. Diaz wall to air dribble. As the resets goes to the ground, swiftt has made that adjustment and stopped letting the fakes fall in, but that's not the best bounce for swiftt. As he finds himself all the way underneath the play, having to stay supersonic. I don't know what happened there with Diaz, but it seemed like a miss, like a controller input, like a controller disconnecting, or... Oh yeah, missed wave dash. A missed wall dash. That would make sense. His car broke. Yeah, it was obvious something went wrong, and it should have been clear. It was a missed wall dash as he was trying to approach on the wall. He wanted to stay glued to it. Isn't it over after 15 goals? Oh yeah, maybe I did not explain it as well as I could have. 15 goal difference between Diaz and swiftt will end the game. Otherwise, it is a 20-minute game, and this one is certainly looking like it's going to go the full 20 minutes. There was a moment there in which I think Diaz maybe gotten it to 7, but swiftt able to stop that, slow it down, keep himself in this one. Power shot from Diaz. Swiftt, a dunk. Turns ball cam on late after landing. Diaz waiting this one out. We saw him do this earlier. Baiting players into poor challenges and ultimately just playing the clock as much as possible. You know, when he has a choice, preferring the extended play like this, for example. 0 boost. Not going to try and make it work. Well, this is probably just the right play either way. Instead, taking the ball back into his half so he can get 100. Try and work with that. Swiftt, a great first touch to get this dribble started. Now he's going to try and protect it. At 50, he goes low. And as we are 2 seconds away from halftime, Swiftt able to bring himself within 3. That was the last time he touched it. Diaz actually pinches it in himself. So Swiftt didn't even need to get the touch on the low 50. Swiftt passing to himself off the back wall. Could not get anything going there. He is able to cut it off. So now he goes on a bounce dribble the other way. I do like the zap dashing we've been seeing from Swiftt as he watches Diaz as he goes to pick up that midfield boost. Instead of keeping ball cam on, which kept his vision off. Just a slight camera pull. He has only 12 to work with. This is going to be enough, though. The side flip pop. Swift's just in an awkward position where he feels like he can't get up for that reverse challenge. Has to wait it out. Ends up getting outplayed. Swiftt on the 360 to pop around Diaz, and the side flip will finish it. Swiftt getting saucy on the kickoff. The initial fake, as he was turning to threaten that flick, he just kept the turn going, landed down, and popped it up again. Diaz, oh my goodness, not able to get the kickoff goal right back. Swiftt has to pre-flip here to cover the potential force in on that right side of the net from Diaz. Diaz now instead will play it on an air dribble. Swiftt in and out of the net. I think in and out of the side wall, though. Not the top of it. As he clears this one away. And what a great flip from Swiftt. Look at this fake challenge. Swiftt jumps up like he is going up to meet Diaz, and then front flips out of it. Changes with the air roll his direction and lands and takes the ball away. That is a great fake. And Swift's able to bring himself within 2 with it. Now Diaz, goal line 50. Denied. Swiftt been gifted an opportunity on an air dribble. Actually doesn't want to take it. Sees Diaz playing so passively. Goes for the pre-flip, the bump. It's on target. Swiftt. He's getting creative here on his way back into the game. And he too is playing the cadence of the match instead of taking it on the first bounce like Diaz was prepping for, forcing him to defend at a more awkward time. That allows him to connect on the demo, or the bump, I should say, and now he's tied it up. A kickoff goal. It's 16-16. 8 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. I think it's the first time we've seen a tie game since maybe the first goal. I don't think Swiftt ever had a lead early. It's hard to remember, but Diaz is going to put himself right back on top. Oh, was there a 3-3 tie as well? It's been a long time. Will Swiftt just let it slip away? It seems like he might. Diaz, 2 straight kickoff goals after the long-awaited tie. It's a delayed kickoff from Swiftt, and it does not work how he would have liked it to. So he is making the adjustments in an attempt to not continue to lose these kickoffs, but this delay only goes slightly better than the previous one. Diaz boost steal. Air dribble. Can he get the bump? He does not connect on the bump, but he does get the goal, and that's what really matters. Force Swiftt to dodge around him. Just want to see from Swift's perspective if it felt like he could have gotten there. No, he was prioritizing not getting bumped, although he definitely could have gotten a bit closer. 19-16. Swiftt on 0 boost off the kickoff. This flick forces Diaz to make a save, and it seemed like Swiftt was going to try and surprise him by, instead of stealing boost, staying on ball and getting a quick follow-up shot, but he was too underneath it, popped the ball high, and then left himself with a really slow recovery. So just like that, it felt like 20 seconds ago, Swiftt was able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, had tied it up. Now Diaz is going to extend it even more. Saw the pre-jump from Swiftt and uses the flip to pop the ball over the top of him and easily catches it as it falls back down in his car. So a 5-goal lead, one of the biggest leads we've seen. Like I said, I wasn't keeping perfect. I know it was somewhere between 5 and 7. The biggest lead that has been had so far this game. Diaz maybe going to try and make it easy on me here by extending it a little bit more. Swiftt, oh my goodness. Should be able to have this follow-up. Diaz got greedy on this save. Was he trying to drop it intentionally off of the crossbar? He definitely pulled off the save, but I don't think he was expecting it to go crossbar and away. I think he just wanted maybe back wall. Diaz going to take this air dribble as Swiftt able to recover and grab his back corner boost. Send one rolling towards the net. It's not going to be able to be scored. Diaz has to recover for it, but it does force Diaz to make a save that allows Swiftt to lock on and take him off the field. Dodging the demo would mean not getting the save. So Diaz had really no choice, and now Swiftt will follow it up to get the goal. 21-18. Lots of games in this madness format that we saw previously ended at around this score line, but we have 6 minutes left to play. As Swiftt is forced to the back half, multiple dashes to try and get something going, despite not having any boosts. Diaz might have just own goal. Yeah, he did. Diaz again. We saw him own goal much closer to the net last time, where he pinched it off of trying to avoid or trying to challenge high. This one is just accelerating the ball into the net. 9-3 was the biggest lead. Thank you. You guys are keeping the stats for me. Swiftt staying on ball. You see him never turning around. He is gung-ho on the net. Decided he wasn't going to be able to get that steal and then leave the play completely. Now Diaz, air dribble bump. Swiftt gets around it, has the save, but Diaz going to be able to keep possession as he resets to the back wall. A 2-goal lead as he is going to wait for Swiftt to finally challenge. He just bumped him into the air dribble. Can Swiftt get the save? He can. He takes the ball to the back wall, drops it down, and gets the low 50 still. Swiftt with some expert defense and even snags the midfield boost, so he's got something to work with. It's going to be a single jump 50 into a wave dash to try and catch back up to this play. Now taking this one away from Diaz, and can he score on the follow-up? Almost as perfect placement as you could get, but slightly off, and now he's actually in a really tough position. It's going to be Diaz with control and the boost advantage. Swiftt on very little. Fortunately for him, Diaz doesn't have a ton either. This is going to be a tough shot to save, and Swiftt cannot. He had to creep out to grab that slight pad right there in front of the net. He wanted to pick that up and then try and make a save, and that was just enough of a reposition to leave an angle open. Diaz delaying this kickoff. Will get the ball in his favorite position. Ready to air dribble from the back corner. As the resets, Swiftt sends it straight into the ground, and the follow-up from Diaz extends it back to 4. They do have a timeout, a 2-minute timeout at any time. Easily the most frequent uses of the timeout are at the end of the game with under 5 minutes left to go. Swiftt able to get Diaz up in the air, maybe trying to avoid a bump play. I think he was, yeah. The single jump and even the side flip because he noticed swiftt wasn't there yet. He didn't want to return to the ground, get demoed. Also wanted to start preparing to retreat. Still couldn't make it in time. Now Diaz. Full field dribble from the back left corner. swiftt, a very weak pre-jump. Diaz just decides to try and 50 on the goal line. swiftt has done a great job defending there. So he has 65 boost to work with now. Thought about the ceiling challenge, and that might have been the reason why Diaz hit the ball quickly. You know, Diaz has a way to counter a challenge from the ceiling, is most likely going to put power behind the ball to get it out ahead of that challenge, but that challenge never came. It was all a fake. Enables swiftt to get the save and the counterattack. So swiftt still within striking distance, has been pretty much this whole game. There's been a couple moments where Diaz has threatened running away, but he's never been able to. swiftt resetting in the midfield boost. Diaz going to go for another full field dribble. swiftt this time actually going to come off the ceiling, and Diaz able to pop it over the top of him. Diaz is just does such a good job of maintaining possession. You know, I think that he plays that way in regular 1v1s, but he's definitely doing it here. Kickoff goals don't hurt either, but anytime the ball finds its way into the midfield, or even when Diaz is able to win on his first kickoff to get possession, maybe not an immediate goal, he is methodical, tries to hold on to it as long as he can. swiftt reset, dunk by Diaz, and a follow-up goal. We are now getting to the moment where this 5-goal difference is starting to be a big deal. We've shown on multiple occasions that swiftt can find his way back. Can he do so before the 20-minute game ends? He's going to get undercut here by Diaz, but actually is still able to get his own back corner boost. And so Diaz will back off, hiding behind the ball right now, and actually challenges immediately. swiftt will have to reset. First touch, too strong. Allows Diaz to get a play. As swiftt sends this high. He's watching, see what Diaz is going to do. Diaz a testing shot that swiftt has been able to handle, and now even forces a 50 over the top of Diaz. Can he get the follow-up? Little camera check to see that Diaz is nowhere around. There's the tap-in. Timeout now if you ask Owen. I don't know if you're saying Diaz should take a timeout to secure the game, or if you're saying swiftt should have taken a timeout there to try and prep for the comeback. Either way, these guys have decided to both play it out. swiftt over the top of Diaz within 3 with 2 minutes and 26 on the clock. Diaz respawning and diving at the play to no avail. Owen needs a timeout. Oh, he's calling a timeout himself. Chat's calling timeout. Forgot that you guys also have a timeout. Looks like swiftt had his zap dash eaten by the ground there. Flick on 0. Needs to be careful here to not give Diaz a free opportunity to try to pop the ball. It is still going to be a Diaz controlled flick. swiftt will recover. As this one gets cut across the net, swiftt is angling for a potential demo. Couldn't take the ball away. Diaz a double. It's on target, and it's in. Diaz has been able to keep this game at just the right distance to secure the win, but has never been able to truly pull away and end it. I mean, with 2 minutes left to go, swiftt still has a chance. swiftt going to pinch this one away. Diaz early challenge does not work. Can swiftt get the angle? He couldn't. He needed to get to the ceiling and get back down. I wonder if he could have jumped off to maybe return back to the ball quicker. That's what he needed. This powerful hook shot will result in a 24th goal as he brings himself within 3. swiftt, a little bounce and hook. You feel like they forgot about the timeout? Well, just wait. I think both these guys have used their timeout very, very late in the past. So we may just see it right before the game ends. Apparently, the timeout is being used as a way to try and troll your opponent to get them to forfeit late. So I didn't expect that to be the main use of the timeout. But that has been used multiple times that way. swiftt maybe starting to feel the moment here with the time left on the clock. Dove with a minute or so left to go. And allowed Diaz to extend it to 4. swiftt direct kickoff goal. That doesn't hurt. Chat calling GG's, saying this has to be GG. Does your mind change after swiftt instantly gets a kickoff goal? Diaz trying to answer with one back. swiftt able to get that save. He is going to reset on his own back corner boost, but Diaz is not going to play the ball at him. He's going to force him to challenge and make awkward plays. He has no choice with the time left, and Diaz is a master of possession, and that's one thing he's proven over the course of these 20 minutes, is he can just hold on to the ball when he wants to. swiftt pinching this one to the ceiling will have his opportunity. He has to play quickly, and he seems to recognize that, but not even this air dribble and resets are going to be able to break it past Diaz. He puts another shot on target. swiftt, low 50 save. Got Diaz to try and angle for another follow-up, which means he's going to have a little bit slower recovery. Can swiftt take advantage of that? What is on his car? He just glued himself to the car, or sorry, to the ball, but it doesn't matter. A 3-goal lead, and Diaz will make it 4 with 11 seconds. It does seem like it's probably GG's. I think so far in every match that I've hosted, there has been a timeout. And it seems like we are not on track for any timeouts used in this game. swiftt does still have a chance. And Diaz is trolling almost to make it possible for him. Oh no, he did recover and make the save. GG's. 29-26. Diaz able to get that 4-goal lead, 4 to 5 goal lead, and hold it for the majority of the match. Got the win in the end.